in this video, I want to talk about what EA need to fix in FC 26 moving forward to keep the game engaging, keep the game fun, and have this game, where we're playing it all year. And I want to talk about just two, three things in this video, which is not a lot of things to complain about, but I think they're very crucial. And if they find a balance for these two things, man, this game is going to go down as one of the like best FIFAs ever, like for real. So what I want to talk about first is the manual defending. Um, I feel like as a player, the way I play, I'm a very aggressive. I want to take the ball away from you type of player, and when you play that style, you are going to get punished. There's no like that. It's just going to happen. There's no way of around that. So, but the thing is that my issue is that when you do get punished, you're probably going to get scored on, and depending on my opponent, he's either going to put up 3 goals on me or he's going to put up 5 or 6. Like it's 3 goals plus that I'm going to get scored on, and that's how it was going on this weekend league. Unless I got a rage quit, but if the game went full 90 minutes, I was getting scored on at least 3 times, right? Because I got my center backs as ball playing defenders, aggressive. Like they're going up trying to win a ball. I want to go out there take a ball away as well, but I don't want to feel like scared to move my center back because I'm like, man, if I miss this tackle or I don't cover this pass correctly, I'm going to get scored on. And it shouldn't be like that every time, right? And when you do press the tackle button, it's like they kind of just get planted and the other center back is not tracking the runner or not trying to attack the ball. And now they're just kind of wide open for a goal. And I like the idea, right? You get penalized for making a tackle. That's how it should be. But I also don't want to get penalized for like just all manual defending, because when you go up against most people in weekend league, at least half of them, they're not manually defending. They're sitting there waiting, and they're chasing you with their cam or their center mid or their CDM if they're a special type of rat, and then they're holding R1, right? So you're being pressed, and then the other, and your pass is being covered, and you're right there on the 18-yard box, and we all gone through it because it's just part of the experience now in this game where these rats, you kind of just sit there and you're kind of stuck, right? And then you get countered, and I want to sit there manually defend because I want to win the ball and just move it up fast the pitch because that's the only way I can really score on you. But if I miss that tackle, I'm getting penalized in a way that it's just very like, I don't know, man. It's gutting when it does happen because the game could be 0-0 or 1-1, and you try to go for a counter, you try to go get the ball, and then you miss it, and then this little rat, has a second, third shot in the game, and now you're losing 2-1, and there's only 5 minutes left on the clock, and they're just passing it back, running up to the corner flag, and then the game's over, and you're just like, damn, like that was not a fun experience a lot at all, right? And if we're playing 15 games, at least 3 or 5 of those games are like that, if not more, which is it sucks. So what I'm trying to get to is that I want the manual defending to be, of course, rewarding, and have the AI help me in a way where if I'm attacking the ball, I have my center back either get ready to cover that pass, or the fullback to squeeze in. A lot of times, these fullbacks they don't squeeze in at all, covering that runner, which is very weird that doesn't happen. Which it happens a lot, um, and that's pretty much it. And moving up to the next thing, the next topic that I want to talk about is that I don't necessarily think we need to buff the formations. I don't think that's the problem. I think what we need to fix is that my opponents need to get punished for just running around with their cam or their CDM or their center mid, and they're just holding R1. Like there needs to be some type of penalty for that because that shouldn't be the most rewarding way to go. So basically what I'm saying is if I go that route, it's the most secure way to not get scored on. If I manually defend, it's 50-50, right? Because I may win the ball or I might miss my tackle and not, cover the run, and I'm going to get scored on. So the safest way to go is use my center mid, cover the pass, hold R1, and that's what I'm doing for 90 minutes. That's the best way to defend in this game. And that's not the way it should be. Like that shouldn't be the best way to defend the game. The best way to defend in the game should be I manually defend, I get the ball. That should be the most dominant way. Like no questions asked. So I think there needs to be a penalty somehow, some way. I don't know how they'll do it. That's for EA to figure it out. Whether that back line just pushes back all the way to the goalie since they're not really pressing or covering anything or they're not being controlled. So they just scoot back, scoot back, scoot back. Or, man, I don't know, man. That's the only solution I can think of. Like where, uh, if you're holding your CDM or your cam and you're just covering a pass and you're holding R1, I feel like if you're holding R1 and needs to be your center back covering something and having your center back come out of position, and then your other defenders they just need to push back all the way back so you can keep moving up the field and either just take a shot and that's it because that just shouldn't be the case in this game. Like it just shouldn't be because again, the most rewarding way to defend in this game should be manual defending. It doesn't need to be that ratty shit. Like it doesn't need to be that. So I know I think the formations are ratty, right? The 4-2-1-3, whatever. Like I think that formation is ratty, but I think if you don't play a ratty, it's a fun game. Like if I'm playing my opponent and he's like not playing the rat way, the manually defending, it's a fun experience. It's better experience. So I don't think the formations necessarily need to get buffed because I understand why those formations are good formations. Playing with two CDMs is very strong in real life as well. Like they'll move up the pitch just a little bit for support, but they're basically like stoppers when you're going to be countered, right? So it makes sense why that formation was OP. So I think just that style of playing, something needs to happen. And the last thing here that I do want to talk about is kind of the women, uh, the women players in this game with very good agility and balance, dribbling. They like for example like Pina Chawanga. I think that I noticed the most this weekend where they were bodying my Virgil, my Rauho, just moving kind of crazy, which is like a bit extreme because ideally Kudus, Griezmann, um, and who else? Marmouche, Pepe. They probably dribble better than Pina and Chawanga in real life. So and they shouldn't be able to body like Virgil. Virgil should be like dunking on them and just like pushing them like crazy. Like that's how it should be, and that's kind of what we expect a little bit. I don't think they need to be useless. I just think they need to get nerfed just a little bit in the way where they can't be as OP because everyone in weekend league that I was playing had at least one of these cards in their team, and they were coming off the bench or they were starting on that team. So I feel like that needs to get fixed as well. Bounties need to get fixed in this game. Objectives, menus, like sometimes it doesn't work correctly, right? But that's all I really got to say about that. The biggest thing I want though is the manual defending to be taken care of, and these guys just running with their center mids or cams and holding R1. We need to find a way to penalize that. So that's all I really got to say. Let me know what your experience is in FC 26 and what you want in this game to get fixed. If you're someone who is getting scored on a lot, I get it. It's defending is hard in this game. I think it's a little unfair again when you do defend and you make a mistake because you shouldn't be as penalized as in if you just let AI do the work, right? So that's all I really got, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys kind of agree with me. Give me your thoughts and comments below in the comments. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on the next one.